It got a pretty fun deck to play. It's one that I've been messing around with for a little while. Maybe even like close to a full year. It maybe even technically longer than that, or like I don't know. Like I think ever since like Modern Horizons 2, like in this era, we've kind of taken a few looks at Footsteps plus Protean Hulk. If you Footsteps of the Goryo on a Protean Hulk, and this card doesn't get exiled until your end step, you should be able to put a combo into play that wins the game. You get to search the library for any number of creature cards with total mana value 6 or less, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This plan got a lot better with the Lord of the Rings combo of Samwise, Cauldron Familiar, and Viscera Seer. Notably, this is only 4 mana worth of creatures, so you can also put a Spellskite into play sometimes if you didn't draw it to protect the rest of your combo. And Asmo also costs 0 mana, so you can just kind of get a free Asmo in play too, which, won't usually matter that much, since typically this combo is going to win the game by itself, but if for some reason this doesn't work, you also have an Asmo in play, which is pretty cool. And I felt like this was a good time to work on the Footsteps Protean Hulk combo, where there's going to be a lot of new Reanimator tools coming out, and this is something I just never got around to, so, this is something I don't say enough. I feel like I don't even, talk about, the stream's mission statement enough, but, brewing in Modern, brewing in Magic is really about understanding cards, playing with cards, figuring out packages, and, and learning what it is you can do with this kind of stuff. And then once you do that, then you can brew with new cards better. So let's get going. Yeah, happy with proliferate stuff doesn't work because it might not, but even if it doesn't, 3 mana suspend to it's a 3 mana enchantment that will put an Archon of Cruelty into play in 2 turns in a Phyrexian Tower format. Is pretty good. It doesn't, it also it just happens. If this resolves, this is 3 mana Archon of Cruelty, suspend to lose 8. 8 is a lot. This card is bad against burn. I do wonder if there is. Obviously, you could also just have Platinum Empyrean too. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be Archon of Cruelty. You can still proliferate after losing life. That's true. Yeah, at the very least, if you played a proliferate card in your deck, you would be able to speed this up by a turn, so making it suspend 1. So you can play this in Creativity. You're up against Yogg again. Please combo with Thassa's Oracle. I mean, the thing about Thassa's Oracle is how much mana does that card cost? 2 mana. Why are we trying to combo this with Thassa's Oracle? This card wants you to cheat the bigger things into play, I think. Just spend 2 mana to cast it instead of spending 3 mana to put into play 2 turns from now. Proliferate after the first trigger, before the second. The big question is going to be: do you need the second trigger to turn the thing face up for this thing to work? Turn 3, play this good Oracle. Turn 4, play Inverter. Turn 5, win. Doesn't really speed up the whole just cast Inverter, cast Oracle thing, right? What's the idea? So that's just scenarios we lose 8, then opponent just destroys the Saga. Yeah. This card obviously can go poorly, but it is super powerful for what it does. They're gonna Besage me? Court for Haywire Mite. Wouldn't you lose before you win with empty library? I think this is kind of assuming you have enough 1 card in your yard to untap with. Yeah, I don't know. The proposed timeline on this card is that, I mean, the nice thing is it can search for either half of your Inverter combo, so that's something. Okay, I'm gonna learn my lesson because I have profane. Well, although I should still get a surveil land because if I see a Protean Hulk, I can just entomb it and then win the game. Or I can thin my deck. Still gonna grab footsteps here, I guess. Come on, Protean Hulk. Phyrexian Tower changed Yawgmoth. Not just Phyrexian Tower. I think that there's going to be a few different game-changing cards for the Yawgmoth archetype. I think if I like, I think the Green Flare, Phyrexian Tower, one other kind of big one I'm forgetting, but I just think if I was going to be a Yawgmoth player, I would just try to start over. So you play this turn 2, get Archons, except for Chapter 2, and you take 8 damage. Then they get a Mite or Force of Vigor, bounce it, whatever. And you do what exactly? Yes, that. Okay, you could just kind of say the same thing about like any. You could also just have boarded out this card post board when they bring in their disenchants. Like you can you could say kind of the same thing. Okay, so you play Delighted Halfling and Yawgmoth, and your opponent plays Cursed Totem, and you do what exactly? It's like obviously like this card is not 3 mana win the game. It's got some problems. I have thought about Virtue of Loyalty in the Cage deck. It could end up being pretty good. I'm not sure. But yes, if this card is bad against disenchants, this card is not 3 mana win the game. But you could also play this in like a blue-black control deck and just, have counter magic up. You could also play discard spells and discard their disenchants. Proliferating Chapter 3 works as long as you get the chapter abilities you got on stack. Yeah, you could proliferate at instant speed also. You could also play around it by just like getting a different card. I think MH3 is changing Modern the same way as MH1 too. I don't think it would be exactly the same, but I do think it'd be similar. So let's bring in the Haywire Mite this time. Not being able to actually exile Cauldron, I think was a problem. I thought just needling it would be okay, but the thing is, when they combined it with their Haywire Mite, it ended up being a big problem. The oven also. Wait, I meant to cut this. I meant to cut the Spellbomb. What did I cut the oven instead? I also wanted to cut the oven. Oh, I didn't mean to trim this Viscera Seer. Okay. So now I'm bringing in 1 extra card. I guess I don't really need the Spellskite. Is Recruit of the Guard even good at Modern as a 1/1? So yeah, Recruit of the Guard got spoiled. I did see that one. Did see Recruiter of the Guard. So Recruiter of the Guard, Imperial Recruiter has barely seen any play in Modern. If anything, it's never really been in a good deck. We've tried it a few times. It has been okay sometimes, but it isn't super good. Recruiter of the Guard is also different. Like I think it's kind of a big problem. Recruiter of the Guard doesn't get Satoro. If Recruiter of the Guard could grab Satoro and we could play it on the Esper Vial deck, it would be really, really good, I think. But it can't do that because it has 3 toughness. Ooh. So we could just maybe tutor for Sam. It does get Solitude. Yeah, but getting Solitude specifically, Grief to a lesser extent, but like tutoring for Solitude is a really, really big deal. And it being white instead of red is a really big deal too. So yeah, this card is better than Recruiter of the Imperial Recruiter for the most part. If it could grab Satoro, it would be a really, really big deal. I think it can't grab Satoro, so it isn't a super big deal, in my opinion. Yeah, I played in the Delny Heartless Summoning Nazgul deck. Maybe. Q-Tip, we have a deck tech system where you can save up some channel points for the deck tech. You can type !deck tech for the info, but it's 75k. Recruiter is kind of late to Modern. Maybe. It's not going to be that good. Yeah, it's not going to be super good. It grabs Solitude. It's ephemeratable. It'll be like Pretty cool build around. It can also just grab Soul Herder too. Like Recruiter for Soul Herder is pretty powerful, but like the color restrictions is pretty real, and so like it does open up like some cool loops there. So I don't want to play the Viscera Seer into a Grist or Bowmaster yet. Just gonna pass. I talked about the Nadu combo deck. No, is there a Nadu combo deck? What is it? What is that? Nadu is an interesting card. Doing spoiler card. It is restricted to twice a turn. So I've seen a lot of people suggesting pairing it with, equipments that cost 0 mana to equip, and that's definitely something. Bushuko? Yeah, I mean, it's not an infinite combo. It's also like... So I think it's pretty comparable to Free Strider Lookout, which is a card I do like. I think it's pretty comparable to Free Strider Lookout in the fact that you're playing, these cheap artifacts to give your 3 mana card like an ETB effect. The problem is like Shuko is like a lot worse than Relic of Progenitus or Mishra's Bauble. Twice a turn per creature. Yeah. So when someone says in the chat, have I talked about the Nadu combo deck? Is there an infinite combo with this? Because it's limited to twice a turn per creature. I understand. Is there some kind of infinite combo where you're just like playing a bunch of Cheerios? Is that the idea? Because I don't think that will be very good. Probably. Like I need a little more. With Fairy Imposter, it is infinite. Fairy Imposter. That's not the new one. That's Fairy Mastermind. Okay, well, Q-Tip, we're looking at your deck. So I don't see Fairy Imposter. I do see Thassa's Oracle. Springheart Nantuko. This is probably the combo card, huh? Okay. Sorry, opponent. You probably have endurance anyway, so I've not seen Springheart Nantuko yet. Okay, landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under control, you may pay 2. If Springheart Nantuko is attached to a creature you control, you may pay 2 if it's attached to a creature you control. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature. If you didn't, create a token this way. Does Nandu make the lands enter untapped? Okay, so Force of Vigor does not get the job done here. Oh, okay, that's way better than I thought it was. I thought it was like Risen Reef and entered tapped. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. Playing MDFCs is like a huge punt, I think, in this deck. Like you just like can't play Witch Enchanter. I think you have to. I'm not deck teching this, but you have to have more than like just 20 lands to hit probably. Okay, Nandu is going up on the tier list for sure. For some reason, I thought it was like Risen Reef entered tapped. Okay, going to game 3 against Yogg. Maybe our luck is turning around here. So I have Nandu in D tier. Nandu is going up. Oh, wait, can I not edit? Remix this list. Remix this. Up into C tier, I think. Let's put it above Sylvan Safekeeper, above 6, above the Black Land. The Frogmite's not that exciting. Above here. Let's put it behind Flage. High A. High A? Our janky banned creature combo deck is high A. Y'all are wild. High A. A is format defining. This is janky. This is still to some extent very disruptible 3-mana creature based combo, and you got a combo with freaking Shuko. We'll see though. It'll depend on like how how the deck building shakes out. It could be good. It could definitely be good. High A's. High praise. I don't like the bar on 3 mana creatures is in modern is tough, dude. It's tough. Some like there are some playable 3 mana creatures, but they are few and far between, and it is very hard for a 3 mana creature to be high. This is an A tier 3 mana creature, Harbinger of the Seas. Whatever each fetch lands is B or A. Fetch lands are S tier and the best cards in modern. Fetch lands are the best cards in modern, still post MH3. S tier, of course. Yeah, in S tier we have Ugin's Labyrinth, Shifting Woodland, Amtraptor, Flare of Cultivation, and Flare of Denial. So I'm assuming my opponent's going to chord for Yogg. Try to. They have 3 cards in their hand. With Amtraptor, don't you think Burn will play 4 Flame Rift to try to maximize damage potential off Raptor? Don't you? Sure, it seems like something that might happen. I think Amtraptor is not. I don't think Burn is going to be super good post MH3. You would play Amtraptor and Burn, but I think it's going to be more of like a mid-range card. So we're pushing the Wall of Roots in response to the fetch, so they can't get Yogg. If my opponent grabs a copy of Endurance, then we're going to probably Profane Tutor for Asmo. Hopefully they just get Grist, but they should get an Endurance. And hopefully they don't have like much payoff after this. Like where they like just don't have that much mana. They only have, you know, I guess they had still 2 cards in hand. We'll see. Does MH3 make Aether Viable playable good with new Merfolk Elves, or is that card still bad in Modern? Aether Vial is not bad in Modern, I think. I think Aether Vial is maybe a little misunderstood. Maybe I should discard the Familiar so that if I find an Asmo, it's a bit better. I think Aether Vial is a little misunderstood. Like Merfolk is a good Modern deck, and Merfolk is an Aether Vial deck. Merfolk is just, I think, underrated, underplayed, and is going to get better. Elves is not a deck that wants to play Aether Vial. Elves is a bad Aether Vial deck. I guess this is fine. So I'm not going to Profane Tutor for Asmo anymore, so it's kind of good that my opponent told me that that's going to be a bad play. I could Profane Tutor just for Unmarked Grave and get a Protean Hulk in the yard and try to find a Footsteps, which seems like a fine enough line. I could also just grab an Urza Saga and hope that lets me outvalue my opponent here. I'm gonna go for the Unmarked Grave line. I could definitely see a different line being better, but I think the ability for me to surveil is also influencing this decision a little bit. Where do you see Psychic Frog best fitting into things? So Psychic Frog is kind of interesting, where it's both like really good in like Vengevine style graveyard decks. Its ability is Cauldronable, which is really nice. But I think it's also just like if you were gonna play a blue-black deck that cared about that, like would be interested in playing a 2-mana creature, I would have like 4 Psychic Frogs. I think the card is just like good. It doesn't die to removal. Like red removal on turn 2 is pretty nice. The flying lets it get in for cards. Just kind of a generically good card almost. So what's wrong with graveyarding another Protean Hulk? Yeah, you can't buy channel points Q-Tip. We used to do paid deck decks Q-Tip, and it really just dominated way too much of the stream. You gotta save up. But it does seem like Merfolk is gonna be a really good deck with Flare of Denial and Harbinger, and is already like pretty good and pretty underrated. Backup deck today actually plays Aether Vial. Okay, so I'm gonna chump block the Young Wolf, or sorry, chump block the Endurance with my Familiar. Oh, I mean, yeah, I was just like, I would block the Blood Artist. Then we get to Surveil towards a Footsteps again, and hope for the best. Get game 3 on the play. Haven't seen this one. Idol of the False Gods. This is Eldrazi Templeable. Okay, so 2 mana, make a spawn. Can't Eldrazi Temple this. Whenever another Eldrazi control dies, put a counter on Idol of the False Gods. As long as Idol has 8 or more counters, it is 0/0 Annihilate. So 8/8 Annihilator too. Cool. Very cool. Alright, come on. 2 looks at Footsteps, although maybe the Blood Artist. I guess the Blood Artist stops the combo, doesn't it, huh? But I can also get Asmo and just kill the Blood Artist, so it should be fine. Obviously, we top decked it also. Woohoo! Goblins can run with or without Vial, which you prefer. Definitely 4 Vials. Goblins is a really good Vial deck. Can someone explain the combo? I can explain it. Watch your screen. So, we Footsteps the Goryo, our Protean Hulk. That lets us search our library for any number of creatures. I'm going to search my library for a Viscera Seer, a Samwise Gamgee, a Cauldron Familiar, 1 Asmo. So if I get 2 Asmos, I can get 2 Asmos kind of safely. The third one is also, I should just be fine. I could just like sack the food for life. So I'm getting these extra Asmos so I get the extra food tokens, which will allow me to kill the Blood Artist a bit easier. So I get a Samwise, Viscera Seer, and Cauldron Familiar, which lets me kill my opponent. Blood Artist stops it. Well, my Asmo is going to allow me to kill the Blood Artist. What do you think is the best Valakut deck in Modern besides Amo Titan? Well, we've been playing a Free Strider Lookout Valakut deck that's been pretty good. I would recommend it. Top 16 the Modern Showcase with it. Other people have top 8 at Modern Challenges. I think that deck's pretty good. So I'm gonna pass to my opponent's upkeep. No, sorry, if they have they can't have Court of Calling. Why would they have attacked, right? Whatever, I'll just do it now. You could just stack the loop on top of the Blood Artist triggers. Yeah, it's true. Sorry, I need to get the record on the screen. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Okay, opponent gives us the GG. This matchup is rough though. As to the round to level 3 judges, you shouldn't be able to put a creature with Chapter 3 a Saga without flipping it up in Chapter 2 first because of rule number. Okay, good to know. Mikhail Sand, 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Do I accept deck text with new cards? Shitty Persist Goblin Brew. I tend to prefer not to, because I really like to just build the decks myself, and also like just building new decks takes a long time, and so it's like I don't want to just do it on stream, and so I can sometimes I give a few thoughts, but I prefer to just wait. I don't know where the caps locks came from. Opponent. Might be an interesting YouTube video idea. Personally, love to see a brewing process. People say this all the time, but there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many hours in the day. I'm already streaming and doing like YouTube videos every day. Well, this hand needs land number 3. Notably, I don't have Springleaf Drum. I guess it wouldn't even really work anyways. Do I sleep still? Not really. Could do that after MH3. Oh, turn 3 kill, probably. Maybe I should have played the Viscera Seer turn 1, because if I draw my second Viscera Seer, it's not a turn 3 kill anymore. Alright, Consuming Corruption deals X damage to target creature, planeswalker, and gains X life for X's number of swamps you control. Wow. Wow. That card's great. That's at least very cool. It's like Defile, but you gain life, and you can target planeswalkers. But it's 2 mana. Take that deal. One says, I feel dead. Excellent 6 cents here. It is an instance, yeah. It is an instant. Very cool card. I think this card might improve the Cabal Coffers deck. That'll be $5 a month for the rest of your life. This card could be good in Cabal Coffers. I would tweet that, but then everybody on Twitter would be like, duh. This could be a good Cabal Coffers tool. Alright. Opponent? You were right about being dead. Not true, Coffers ain't a swamp. Well, yes, well, you could also play Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and all of our lands would be swamps. This card could maybe replace March of Wretched Sorrow. I'm kind of a big hater of March of Wretched Sorrow. You maybe would not completely replace the card, right? But getting some concession lag, yes. Okay. Now, I was kind of mostly trying to dodge Sanctifier Invec today, or Thoughtseize it. I guess we're going to bring in the Thoughtseizes. We also have the Shadowspear backup plan. Bring in the Haywire Mite too. We can have Random Ass Rest in Peace. Bring in the pushes. Cut the Wraiths. Cut the Nihil Spellbomb. 2 more cuts. Okay, cut the Daredevil. Could trim Unmarked Grave number 4. Could trim Profane Tutor number 4. Let's trim Profane Tutor number 4. Isn't Thoughtseize really bad versus Burn? Thoughtseize is a lot better versus Burn if you're a turn 3 combo deck and you're trying to not lose to Sanctifier and Vec. Let me keep this. I might Unmarked Grave for Cauldron Familiar. We also have a lot of life gain in our deck, so there's that to think about as well. Okay, well, they have 2 Sanctifier and Vex. Chatter. Damn it. I was going to look so smart if they only had 1 Sanctifier and Vex. They just had 2. Okay, Protean Hulk is my top card here. Is there a chance for Storm to be tier 1, or should I stop getting my hopes up? Never give up your hopes! Wait, it's about Storm being tier 1? Oh, yeah. I hear Scam is lovely this time of year. Oh, sorry, I thought we were going to 1. Exactly dead. Okay, game 3 on the play for game 3. Oh, and I also forgot to do the record tracker. Too much going on. I hear Scam is lovely this time of year. Okay, so keep this. So, oh. Let's see here. Go Surveil Land into Thoughtseize Cookbook. My opponent's also on a Mold of 6. The new Necro see play and scam. I meant to reread the new Necro. I don't know if it'll see play and scam, but it's better than the average draw. Excuse me. I just can't remember. You draw the card immediately, right? All right, at the beginning of your end step, you pay a new amount of life. Right. Okay, right. Yeah, I don't know. The new card, the new Necro is very tough to evaluate. But I do think it is pretty good. Okay, so we'll take the Smash to Smithereens. Thoughtseize, a good card against Burn, apparently. Enough Jeskai energy cards to not need to play a tune. Yes. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to play Asmo or if I'm going to make a Construct next turn. I'm taking 4 down to 9. My opponent still has this Boros Charm, and they have a mystery card. So I could go discard Thoughtseize, play Asmo, with the ability to either sack a food token or kill a creature. I can also just make a big creature that has a Shadowspear on it, and I can also equip or play Asmo next turn. Doing this, I can't really die, right? If they go, so say they go land, I guess if they go land 1 mana burn spell plus the Boros Charm, I block here. That kills me exactly. What I like about this line is I probably get to sack a food token here. I think it'd be great in deck where you quickly empty your hand. Example, Scam. Well, Scam, like, has a hard time getting to 3 mana. Well, of course they have a Skull Crack. That stinks. So now what? I cannot make a Saga token and equip a Shadowspear here. I think it replaces Fable and Scam? Maybe. It would have to, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to play Sam. Probably not. Space Koala, 23 months. Small with the 35. Thank y'all. So I'm going to go in Surveil and Response here. Wow, crazy card. So let's see what this hits. So now I can't kill something if I want to bring back the Cauldron Familiar, but I feel like I just bring back the Cauldron Familiar. In the response, they smash this, or they smash the Smithereens, number 2, on my Shadowspear. I'm going to go down to 5. I think I'm going to discard second Cookbook in the spot. It's a good draw. So play Sam. Bring back Cauldron Familiar, and I'm just thinking, do I need to discard the oven? I'm dead to land Boros Charm burn spells if I don't. But the oven's pretty good, and I think this is fine. Space Qual with the 23 again, thank you. Mom with the 35. Corisco with the 9 months, thank you. One piece I discovered is playing one Mass Vandal on the board, so you can build a Hulk pile that beats Cursed Totem. Okay, yeah, that might be correct to do. Okay, GG, Goblin Guide. We know the last card's Boros Charm, so it should be good. Furnace Hellkite, Affinity for Artifacts. Another red-black affinity card. It's kind of interesting that this is something they're pushing. GG, Tuna. After O2 start. Let's go to Mulligan this 7. We have Unmarked Grave Footsteps. It's just, I don't know. I have Surveil lands. I think just we have our 2-card combo. Obviously, we need to hit lands. Let's hit the lands, right? Which MH3 cards should be ordering. I mean, I'm doing a lot of content about ranking them, so you could, watch those videos, and it shouldn't be too hard to pick apart which cards I like, right? We found a Saga off their Ancient Stirrings. So, still don't draw a land. There's one. Is the flip counterspell that much better than Odds Ends? Okay, I'll read Odds Ends. I'm surprised that there's like even a card we're comparing it to. Oof. There's no way this card is better. Flip a coin. If it comes up heads, counter target instant or sorcery. If it comes up tails, copy that spell. Okay, this card is very comparable. This card is better because it gets everything. That'll be $5 a month for the rest of your life. I didn't know this card existed though. So, but yeah, like only countering instants and sorceries is just not really. It's like a little too fringe. But I'd never seen that card before. Surprised that it was actually like exactly comparable. Okay. Yeah, like I'm surprised that like there was a card like this. To me, it was like, wow, I've never seen a card like this before. The Spellskite's really good. One Street Wraith maybe. Maybe I can't imagine him getting the Shadowspear very often. Should probably also just have all the pushes, right? Seems kind of bad to not. It can trim Asthma number 4, Profane Tutor number 4, or Unmarked Grave. I don't know. Invert Polarity is a really weird card because, like, if you win the flip, the card is great. If you lose the flip, the card is mid minus, bad plus, somewhere in that range. Let's keep this. Questing Bait 31 months. Thank you. Welcome back. But yeah, $5 for the rest of your life. Thank you for 31 months into it. Okay, well, free Entomb. Take that. Sounds like a bad card. I don't know. So it sounds like a bad card. Could you elaborate? Do go on. Suppose it stops modular. I feel like I'm just getting it down earlier. Also, stops welding jar. I don't know. Like this is going to win you the game if you win the flip a lot of the time. Like if this card just like won you the flip every time, which it it doesn't obviously, but if you won the flip every single time, this is like mandatory 4 of in Murktide, super annoying spell, like format defining spell. It is half that good. How do you rank it? I don't know. I'm gonna surveil here. Or you lose the game. I mean, I've played enough Archmage's Charms to not doom too hard about the other mode. So if I keep this, I can Unmarked Grave for a cat, I guess. I name Agatha's Soul Cauldron here. Don't want to name Haywire Mite since I have a Haywire Mite. But if they want to mite this, that's okay. Yeah, there are some cards that like help you modify the flips. I don't think that that's how you should be playing with this card, but invert polarity should not be termed illegal because there are coins that always let because you can cheat with it. It's probably, I mean, you can. There's lots of ways to cheat in Magic. Typically, flip a coins in I haven't seen many like coin flips in paper competitive Magic, but when I have seen it, usually people roll dice and they just do evens or odds. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen a real coin flip. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's hard to evaluate, but I don't think it's unplayable. I do think this is like the Schrodinger's cat. This is like the Rorschach test of card evaluation. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell a lot about a Magic player by how they evaluate this card. Are they a glass half full? Are they a glass half empty? Do they say, "Wow, this card wins the game for you most of the time," or "You're super ahead if you win the flip"? Or do they like, "Oh, if you lose the flip, it's a cancel." Oh, I hate this card. If you lose the flip, it's a cancel. You win the flip, you're just gonna be so ahead. It's I think it can be maybe this is a very telling telling card. Okay, so let's Unmarked Grave for a cat. Main phase. Panda, 48 months. Think we'll come back. And I try to be in the middle. It's kind of tough. Yeah. Cancel is like I don't know. I played a lot of Archmage's Charms, and Archmage's Charm is a fine modern card. How dare you? Okay, so we could draw either Footsteps of the Goryos or Viscera Seer to win the game. Although maybe not because of the whole Ballista situation, I guess. Want to run as a fun sideboard card against Tron. Yeah, it could be a sideboard card. I don't know. What about Unbear Rights playing Unmarked Grave to find it could be a possibility? I've played that card in Modern in the past. I tend to think it sucks, I guess, if I'm going to be quite blunt. The problem with the verticality isn't that sometimes it's a cancel. The problem is that it sometimes does nothing when it takes control of Living Under Blood Moon. That is a problem. I agree. It also sometimes counters those. That's true. Yeah, it is bad against like cards like Living In, Blood Moon, Supreme Verdict. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely a glass half full kind of player. I mean, I don't know if this card is constructed like main deckable. I don't it is if you win all your flips. But a lot of times people also they see coin flips on cards and they're just kind of turned off. They're like, "Oh, coin flip cards. These cards always suck." And they do usually suck, but this one like it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Like if you take control of a One Ring, of a Teferi Time Raveler, of an Omnath, of a Expressive Iteration, even it's like it's really fucking good. It's a fun card, but it's bad. I don't know. Like this card is so incredibly hard to evaluate, just like a lot of MH3 cards. And I a lot of times feel like people who see cards that are really hard to evaluate, they just immediately call them bad. And maybe y'all are better at card evaluation than me, but like this would also people like bad against distant chance. Obviously, it's bad against distant chance. Is it bad overall? I don't know. I don't think there should be a coin flip cards in competitive Magic. Well, I mean, this is a stance you can have. Doesn't really change the fact that this card is legal, and you know what I mean. Like this card doesn't exist, so we have to evaluate it. But you know, it's just there are situations where this card will be super good, and situations where it'll be really bad. There are situations where reverse polarity will be super good, or invert polarity, and there are situations where it will be really bad. And I don't know, hard to evaluate. Makes it interesting. So should I sack the Sam now? I don't think so. We are kind of cooked. We'll go player with the 9 months. Thank you so much. Creation of Avacyn art is S tier. I haven't really looked at the art. Okay. Is this like a angel snake skin? When is it really worse than cancel? So it's worse against cancel against like cards that you don't matter if you gain control. So like Chalice, Blood Moon, Living End, which you're not going to be like the most Harbinger of the Tides maybe. So it'll happen sometimes. But they're, you know, I don't know. Like I would play 3 mana gain control. I would play 4 of gain control of target spell in every deck ever, or yeah, every blue-red deck ever. Yeah, you could play like as 1 of it Murktide, 2 of it Murktide. Get kind of lucky. You gotta get lucky to win matches of Magic, anyways. Why not just win your flips? This card is good against can't be countered. Well, a lot of can't be countered stuff is like Supreme Verdict. I mean, it definitely has text, you know. Definitely has text. Against can't be countered. So we get our Ovalchase Daredevil. Oh no, I boarded out my Ovalchase. Shoot. Okay, we're pretty cooked. People think they aren't flipping coins every turns, but they are. That is too real. You're just done, board. I almost just don't want to put invert polarity on the tier list. Because people will just not, they won't listen to my like thoughts on the card. They'll just say, oh, Spike thinks this card is C tier. And then some people will think C tier is terrible, but C tier is not that. C tier is fine. I could put it in SS tier parentheses if you win all your flips. Okay, I'm gonna keep lands, Unmarked Grave, Goryos. SS tier parentheses if you win your flips. Duh. Yeah, I could put it in S tier parentheses if you win your flips, F tier parentheses if you don't. Not actually that funny, I guess. Okay, hopefully we don't draw Samwise next turn. I'm playing a Swamp here so that if they counter my footsteps, then I can start making as many tokens as possible. Although maybe playing Saga to like just make a token if they hold up counter spells better. Averages out to C tier. Yeah, that is what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Like if you win the flips all the time, it is just S tier. You're not gonna win your flips all the time. If you lose all the flips, that's F tier obviously. So yeah, we'll just compromise into C tier. Just jamming. They got 4 counter spells. You really think they have one? Come on, mill players! Why? How do you find me every day? Every day they find me. Do have the Emrakul, of course. To me, this card feels like sort of old hollow one where it's built into a deck with calculated variance and ways to make up for calculated variance. Yeah. I mean, the biggest way it makes up for it is just like these counters to spell. And they have Field of Ruin. Should have one more swamp. Viscera Seer would have been a sick draw. There's my Ovalchase Daredevil, I guess. Ooh. So before my my Overgrown Tomb. Oh, dang it. Did already get milled. That's okay. Before my Underground Mortuary gets milled, I guess. Just gonna get that into play. And then I was thinking that I would be going Samwise and to try to channel Takenuma, and like maybe they would mill over my Viscera Seer, and then I could combo off. But maybe we do that all in one go. So have 6 cards in their hand. Was consigning to memory already reviewed? Is that the colorless? Not stifle exactly, not or ceremonious rejection. That card's really good, sideboard card. I guess I could have cycled the Street Wraith first, and then if I just so happened to draw Viscera Seer, could go for it. But I kind of don't even know if that's correct. I sort of feel like I should be just making another Saga token, playing Asmo, playing Sam. Wanted them to counter the Asmo. Want them to Fatal Push the Construct, so that is, I mean, I want them to have all lands, but probably beating that anyways. They have another Drown? Man, they have a lot of cards. No, just surveilling. They graveyard an Archive Trap. Okay. Sheesh. So I'm down to 8 cards in my library. They have 2 cards in their hand. Of course, I have the Emrakul today. There's my Viscera Seer. So I suppose the plan is to Takenuma. Try to win next turn. I guess, I mean, I did have one more Sam in the deck. Maybe, I guess it was actually better for me to just cycle, try to see if I found second Sam. Let's see if I would have, did not. Getting milled. New Tamiyo broken in Legacy? I don't know. New Tamiyo seems really good in Legacy. Broken is... I don't know what is broken. Who can even remember what broken cards are? I don't think I'm bringing in the Fatal Pushes. Just going to be up to 63 here. Maybe we should be cutting the Unmarked Graves, though. From 2 down to 61 seems okay. Yeah, I like the new Tamiyo a lot. I like the new Tamiyo a lot. So yeah, new Tamiyo very good with Brainstorm. Because not only does Brainstorm flip Tamiyo, but Brainstorm also gets bought back by Tamiyo. Which sounds pretty good. So Emrakul is in my hand. Let's go to 6. Surveillance kind of bad against Mill. I like Tamiyo a lot. I think Tamiyo's very good at Modern. I think she's the best 1-mana blue creature ever printed. Not that like there's like a lot of other good. I mean, there's Delver of Secrets. I think she's better than Delver. She's better than Delver. Caustic, 29 months, think we're back. Does Kurik and paying life for black spells have any potential? I don't think it'll be... No, I don't think it'll really have potential. So I guess... I think I want them to Surgical my Cauldron Familiar because of the Emrakul. So like if this just trades with the Surgical, that's okay with me. Is an Emmy better in hand than in library? Doesn't get exiled. I know that everybody in Modern is really brain broken by Tasha's Hideous Laughter, but you kind of need it to be in your deck to like really get value out of it. I mean, you could discard it eventually in this deck, but that hand also just didn't have that much of a plan. 2 and flying, it returns itself from graveyard when you draw 3 in a turn. I don't think I've seen that card. But that sounds like it would be really good with Burning Inquiry. If someone wants to link it if it wasn't leaked. Classic again, think of it 29 months. So I'm not going to discard my Swamp here to kill the crab because I want to be able to make a Saga token. Goodbye, Asmo. Still want to make a Saga token. Well, if you just happen to mill Protean Hulk, I wouldn't complain, opponent. Opponent, if you happen to mill a Protean Hulk, come on. Good sequencing. My oven is, of course, in the graveyard. And my opponent looks like they have Drown in the lockup, so maybe if I make a Saga token, they'll drown the construct instead. I literally had to buy a single Emrakul because I was playing so many spike decks. I mean, you could have just added a different sideboard card, I guess, but I just play against Mill every single day, at least once. The new improvise reduce the madness cost? Yeah, it should. Can you expect to see Emrakul turn 3, turn 4? I mean, you could already, I think, expect to see that, but see it a little bit more often now, yeah. Emrakul. Because we don't exactly want it to hit, so we can have our footsteps do something. Oh, I guess we do because we could just discard the Protean Hulk. Okay, do they have surgical? Nope. Nice. Just concedes. I'm gonna cut these unmarked graves. They want a needle for Field of Ruin, just the first one, and I could just play 60. I could be up 61 if like a push. I just don't care about the crabs when I have Asmos and Emrakul. Couldn't you exile your own graveyard, put Hulk in there, and reanimate it? Then, if you were scared of Drowned Block. Yeah, I guess I didn't see that line. Yeah, no, it was probably the better line. If you discard Emrakul to a cookbook, the food it makes won't be able to play for the improvise. I think it might. I think it can because so you tap your cookbook and then 2 things go on the stack, right? The cookbook and the madness trigger. Guess I'm keeping on 6. Profane Tutor for footsteps. The cookbook and the madness trigger both go on the stack. Oof. And I feel like you could just put the token in play first. When is your paper proxy stream? My paper playtest stream is the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th of next week. Monday through Thursday. So I'm down 1 Viscera Seer, 1 Protean Hulk. I think I should be needling instead of suspending the Profane Tutor. Getting that Nihil Spellbomb seems great. So they're going to try to snipe my Emrakul, but while they can still Spellbomb. So we really don't want to hit the Emrakul. There's a Cauldron Familiar. While they don't pop the Spellbomb. Which I guess is just a big old mistake on their part, I would think. Deputy Michael McGlynn. Thank you for the 23-month 3-month resub. How do you play 6 colorless with Improvise? Improvise is only generic mana. I guess you're right. I guess it won't work then. I take it all back. Okay, no Emrakul yet. Opinion Recruit of the Guard. Yeah, I've not ranked it yet. I've not I've been weekending a little bit. Archive Trap. Guess I could also just fetch and Lantern control me. Leave one Saga left in my deck. I can maybe shuffle some back in. Hit the Emrakul. Whoa. Crypt Incursion. So I guess I'll get a Cauldron Familiar back. Oh, they're going to gain so much life. Do I still have... Wait, what? They have more? Up to 56 life. We do get to shuffle these sagas back in, which is pretty nice. Maybe just search for a saga. Maybe top deck Footsteps of the Goryo. Now, I did exile both Viscera Seers, so this is a value Protean Hulk. Come on! I guess this matchup isn't good, probably. Urza Saga, save me. Ovalchase Daredevil, save me. We need more Emrakuls. There's 12 cards in my library. I mean, Archive Trap is online. Do I have any fetchables left? Nice. I mean, I don't know how we deal with the 56 damage before they can mill me for 10. Maybe they draw all Nihil Spellbombs. The Flash Storm enchantment? No. So they surveil another Crypt Incursion to the yard. What are we drawing? Asmo, maybe? Okay, I mean... Give me enough time, I'll deal 56. Yeah, not looking too good, y'all. I agree. Second for 12. Odawara. Okay. Alright, opponent. So they could draw Extirpates, they could draw Surgicals, they can draw Nihil Spellbombs. And they're gonna have to do that for a while. I guess they could technically draw more crabs. Okay, this is just to draw one. Okay, that kills me. Okay, let's... Dude, I keep closing. Okay, let's see if there's any more spoiler cards we've missed. Nabu is not better than Yawgmoth, Thran Physician. Y'all are silly. Y'all talk about Nabu? Better than Yawgmoth? Get out of here. People are going crazy for the card, though. People they're definitely going crazy for Nabu. So I'm gonna play around Teferi here, but not playing my Saga. Yeah, we'll play the card. Maybe it'll impress, but Twice per creature card is nuts. Yeah, this is modern. It's kind of tough to like have your 3-mana creature, have a bunch of creatures in play, have your Shuka in play, and just be chilling. But I mean, you can like I'm not saying the card is not bad. The card is not bad. The card is not Yawgmoth Ren Physician. That card wins the game. It comes down. You know.
You want Starbucks?
Sure, I'll take some.
What would you like?
What if we did Billy Joe's and did chai instead? Your initiate the 15. Thank you. Thank you. You okay?
Yeah.
So up against creativity, I guess. Nabu also triggers if opponent removes it. Yeah, Nabu is good. Nabu is a good card. I'm on board. Nabu is not Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth is like the best 4-drop in Modern, maybe. Guess we should have suspended.
I can do that instead.
Okay. It's Nadu, please. What am I saying? I'm putting an N in there. Pronunciation nerds, y'all gotta chill too. The One Ring has words. Yawgmoth is almost just like unarguably the better 4-drop. Almost. Like this kind of reminds me of like when people were talking about how Caitlin Clark is better than Steph Curry. I don't know. It's like Caitlin Clark is really, really, really good basketball player, but it's Yawgmoth. It's Steph Curry. I don't know. Or better shooter, I guess. No one's a better player, probably. All right. So looks like the Profane Tutor is going to be too slow. If I suspended instead of playing into Spell Pierce, maybe we're winning. We have a couple looks here at another Protean Hulk because I can discard Hulk to my cookbook. Found an Asmo, which I guess can technically keep me alive if they don't have a removal spell. The problem is I have to discard my Footsteps. So down a game against creativity. Bring in just the Thoughtseizes. Look at the Ovalchase. I guess they're probably not playing Persist in that build. I do think Nadu's good. As far as like the Nantuko combo with this card, I don't know that, or the whatever the just equip 0. I don't know if you're gonna be able to really loop through your whole deck that consistently. Because you're going to put 1 land into play on average for each creature. Might be fine. You have just to play test it, I guess. How do you effectively hate out Nadu? How do you hate out Nadu effectively in a way? Fatal Push. Unholy Heat, the new energy removal spell. It's like I guess you play this if you have the Shuko, they get to trigger it, you kill it, and then they draw off the removal spell, they draw off the Shuko, and then you do get 3 for 1 when you kill it, so that is definitely a big point in its favor. You also are just going to be able to race the card, I think, somewhat effectively too. I think I have to keep this. I'm going to lead on Street Wraith, and if I don't find land, I'm going to Surveil. Card is good with Bristly Bill. Yeah, Nadu. I like Nadu. People like Nadu. Okay, there's our land. So I'm pretty sure I need to play Cookbook this turn. You're just discarding second Asmo. So that I have the ability to to win next turn. Maybe I should have surveilled. I think I want to play the Asmo though. Midmites and Ornithopters. Well, the thing is, if your deck is full of Midmites and Ornithopters, then all of a sudden just killing Nadu is like that's good. Killing Nadu is really good. There's also a really good chance a Nadu deck is a Flare of Denial deck where you're playing a bunch of like blue value creatures, and then you go off with Nadu, and then you just sack some of them to like just like stabilize because you've drawn so many cards. I think that's a pretty realistic situation. I did promote Nadu to C tier. I think every card in C tier is a very good card. Nadu could maybe even be B tier. Does Nabu draw cards? So Nabu puts lands into play or cards into your hand. So he actually even gets around Bowmaster. Nabu is pretty sick. I might promote Nabu to B tier. We'll see. Turn 1 Dryad Flare. Turn 2 Naru Shuko. Let's party. Dryad Flare doesn't give you 4 mana on turn 2. It gives you 3. But you can go Grazer Flare into this and then do a turn 2. Guess I should have attacked first. I don't think it's going to matter that much. I really want them to creativity me next turn. So let's take the Fable. Do you think creativity survives MH3? Do you mean like it'll be too good and be banned, or too bad and it'll be unplayable? It's just like is there anybody out there that's good enough to predict like what's going to happen to the metagame post MH3? Especially, I haven't even seen all the spoilers, but it's just going to be like there's just going to be a lot of new stuff, and like figuring out what new stuff is going to happen is going to take a long time, and I'm going to work really hard at it. But I don't know. Oh, sorry, I need to discard Protean Hulk, but it's okay. I just thought it just doesn't really matter. Yeah, Eldrazi going to be good. Energy going to be good. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be mostly like new decks. It's going to be mostly like Flare of Cultivation plus Phyrexian Tower. Like this, like these two cards together are going to, I think, make some like crazy fast decks. I was thinking about that a bunch over the weekend. Okay, Seer, Spellskite, Sam. Cauldron Familiar, Asmo, as well. Curious to what is just totally dead. Nothing, probably. Or, like, you just can't know. Like, Creativity is really powerful deck. Like, maybe get some new tools. People are saying Murktide is getting nothing, but Murktide's getting, Tomio, it's getting this new Ceremonious Rejection counterspell, which is a pretty big deal. Invert Polarity may be good, maybe not be good. Good if you win your flips. But Murktide's already really bad, so it's like, whatever, right? Yeah, they get the Retroflame DRC. Yeah, I think there will be a few different builds of energy. Figuring out the best one is going to be kind of tricky. I'm gonna mulligan this. Invert Polarity, haha. I don't know. People do really hate that card, it seems, but those people are bad at winning flips. If you win the flip every single time, it's S tier, format defining, crazy card. You're gonna win your flips half the time. How good is that? I don't know. You all in chat seem to think it's bad, maybe, but dude, Entombing Protean Hulk is pretty good. Like if the card was 3 mana, gain control of the target spell, S tier. Best card on the list, probably. It's gonna do it half the time. And and when it doesn't, it's counterspell. I feel like this is just a card that's super hard to evaluate. Your player looks cracked. Yeah, I think card's pretty sick. What cards are maybe not the good excited to brew with? Every card in a D tier. So I know that they have they boarded an Alpine Moon, so I kind of want to wait on the footsteps maybe. Right, just take the reprieve, try to kill him next turn. Is energy going to be Teamer or Jeskai? I mean, it's going to be base blue red probably. It could even potentially be mono red. It could be Teamer. It could be Jeskai. It could be Grixis. I haven't sat down to build it yet. Mingu preview card. Okay, so my opponent's pretending like they drew a piece of interaction here. But I do have 2 footsteps, and if they drew a counterspell, it's okay. Even if it's reprieve, we just do it again next turn anyways. Oh no, this was. I thought this card was officially spoiled already. Sorry, Mingu. I thought this was already. I didn't realize this was a leak. Card's good though. Eldrazi Linebreaker, 3 mana, 3/3 trample. If come a turn, target creature gains haste and plus X+O, or X is the number of Eldrazi you control. So by itself, it's a 4/3 haste trample. That is really 2 mana because of Eldrazi Temple. Isn't the upside of just winning some games because you're still the best card good enough? Yeah, I think so. I think absolutely so. Like, if you steal Teferi, you steal a One Ring, you steal a Wrenn and 6, although Wrenn and 6 is 2 mana, so it's tougher to do that. Steal a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's just the game is just over most of the time. And then if that doesn't happen, you just keep playing and maybe you like snapcast it back. I don't know, maybe it's boomer brain, but the card is at least way more interesting than bad Kick W. It says flip a coin, so let's not even think about it. Thoughts on Consign to Memory? That card is great. I'm really, really happy they printed it. If you haven't seen it, this is Ceremonious Rejection, counter target colorless spell, but you can also counter a triggered ability, and it has Replicate 1. And it has Replicate 1, so you can counter an Emrakul, and you can counter the cast trigger for 2 mana. So I'm like really happy they printed this. Really happy they printed this card. Okay, so my opponents had they've seen 3 new cards since we Thoughtseize them. One of those cards was a reprieve. One of those cards was a prismatic ending. My opponent has not played anything else because they're bluffing that last card is also, or they're saying that last card is also relevant. Protean Hulk is in play. If they have Leyline Binding for the Protean Hulk, it's pretty bad. Could have played around it if I drew a land for Oven. Didn't draw a land for Oven. Didn't have Leyline Binding. Spellskite in play should keep me pretty dang protected here. I've been liking just putting all the Asmos into play for the extra food tokens. About the new Emrakul being counterable. Yeah, I mean this counters all the Eldrazi except for Aeon's Torn plus their cast trigger for 2 mana. Thoughts on Grand Abolisher instead of Spellskite? This card is castable and does the same thing mostly the same thing. Abolisher is better against Endurance, but like I can cast this card if I draw it, which makes me like it a little bit more. Okay, opponent. I sure thought I knew the rest of your hand. What are we doing here? The Eldrazi deck will play 4 Caverns though. Maybe. Some builds of Eldrazi will, some builds won't. But maybe, yeah. But also, you'll have Cavern's kind of a slower card. Wait, they had a Bolt? How did they have Bolt? Oh, I forgot about the other card they drew off Reprieve. Fuck, dude. Is Scam gonna be unplayable? Probably not. So I guess I can Footsteps my Sam next turn. Sorry, I forgot that there was actually one other card. So I mean, my opponent, we with Thoughtseize that they had nothing relevant, or they had one relevant card which we took. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 relevant cards in a row. Yeah, this also counters like Chapter 3 of Urza Saga, which is pretty relevant against Amulet Titan. Counters Ring ETB, I guess. Okay, so their hand is Teferi, Fable, Mystery card, Mystery card. What is this line? I guess it's just concede. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Oh, right, Ring is colorless, duh. Ring is colorless. I was just trying to think of like relevant ETBs, right? I was trying to think of any relevant ETB this could counter. I'm like, oh, the ring. But you're right, yeah. It also just counters. Also just counters the ring. Duh. Any chance of playing half stifle for triggers like Croxa or Vocal Mentals? Oh shit, this scams your grief, but you don't get their like replay. I mean it's relevant, yeah. It's not irrelevant. Okay, looks like we're gonna 3-2 this league. Yeah, counters your ring damage trigger too. That card's really good. I don't think it's like super main deckable probably. Could be like metagame main deckable. We're talking about this deck with the context of the white MH3 land.